I'm your host, Davida Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits Dreams Come True with the Right Mindset. And today's presentation is titled Nine Things That Aren't Helping Your Mental Health. I want to talk about mental health and mental illness simply because I understand and realize that this is not only something that is not discussed, but it's not even addressed simply because mental illness is such a hidden disability. And it's hidden because it's something that you can't see unless someone overtly acts out in their behavior. So, mental health challenges are global concerns. This isn't just because it costs trillions of dollars yearly, with the US alone racking up $225 billion in 2019. More so because even the concept of a mental health challenge is largely stigmatized and misunderstood. It is hard to recognize and even more tricky to treat. The reality is that we find ourselves points to one glaring fact: the task of placating, managing, and treating your mental health challenges is largely your responsibility. Taking care of your mental health is not just about therapy. Practicing meditation and sticking to your medication when it is prescribed to you. There are also things that you should not do in order to help yourself. Now, one of the reasons that people don't like to stick to the medication is because somehow it makes them feel different. And not only that, what happens is because it's a misunderstood disability and it's not something that you can see, then what happens? Someone says, "Oh, I'm okay now. I can get off it." But in reality, it's something that the chemicals in the body are not balanced unless you're on that medication. Therefore, it's something that you cannot get off of just because you feel you're feeling better. It is true. Life is full of ups and downs. For some people, it has always been the downs that they have to struggle with for the rest of their lives. Sometimes unexpected things happen that shake healthy people to the foundations of their beings. They call these traumas. Other times, prolonged challenges from life events mounts insane pressure on people's lives, and they are left struggling under the immense weight. So no one chooses to have mental health issues. However, it is still our responsibility to stand up and do something about the situation we find ourselves in. For the sake of this presentation, we will focus solely on the things that you might be doing that aren't helping your mental health. If mental health challenges are starting to overwhelm you, don't hesitate to reach out to a professional. Mental Health America is available 24/7 if you need to talk to someone. In Canada, reach out to the Canadian Centre for the Mental Health and Sport via email, phone, or text. Also, there is a suicide hotline that you can call at any time when you're feeling suicidal. Also, when you know that you have a chronic condition that your medication is not able to work with it, or effect, then always be around someone and make sure that you are not left totally alone. Because, when you're alone, you go within yourself and you go within your thoughts, and they grow till they really take over. And I realize it, it's taxing on family members. And if you don't really have anyone, the idea is to find agencies or services where they provide a place that you can go to be around other people when you need to be, so that it takes you out of yourself. 9 behaviors that can harm your mental health. So, below are 9 things that aren't helping your mental health. 1, isolation. Isolation simply means being disconnected from people. Not a lot of people know this, but isolation has been observed to actually physically alter the brain of lab animals. Another way to avoid isolation is to, if you don't have family and you don't have a place to go, is to find people that you can call and they will talk to you no matter what time of day it is. So, this causes the brain to shrink and can lead to other abnormal brain changes that are similar to those of patients with Alzheimer's disease. Isolation also increases the risk of depression, stress, anxiety, loneliness, heart attack, and stroke. So while it is advisable to cut off unhealthy social interactions, it is crucial that you build and maintain healthy interactions from time to time. 2, poor social interactions. Thanks to the internet, particularly social media, we can now stay connected with millions of people around the globe. And this is good. One problem with it is that it's also created an avenue to escape reality, to escape real physical social interactions. The result that those who stay glued to the screens and ignore spending quality time with loved ones can consequently emotionally starve themselves. We simply habit of going out and meeting new people or loved ones and putting the phone away when interacting with them can go a long way to helping your mental health. This is something that we don't realize just how important being around people is and to everyone. If you isolate yourself, you are doing yourself more harm. And I can tell you this much: I may live alone, but I know how to reach out to people, and it's not just texting. I talk to them on the phone. That we have a generation that grew up with the cell phones and the smartphones, that they spend almost all their time on the phone. And this is not good. That even when they're sitting at a booth or sitting someplace in a crowd, they will still text each other rather than talk. 3, multitasking and busyness. A lot of people are very busy being busy. For the sake of your mental health, you must figure out the difference between the tasks that are important and those that are urgent. And oftentimes, the urgent tasks are not important. Juggling several urgent activities often comes with cognitive costs, which brings about burnouts. This can leave you too drained for truly important tasks, not to mention being stressed and in a bad mood. Slow down. Focus on the important things. The world is not on fire, right? 4, not putting you first. Saying yes to everyone is very unhealthy. For a start, it can leave a lot of dreaded and unimportant tasks on your to do list. Not only will this make you miserable, but it can also leave you stressed, bitter, tired, resentful, and sometimes sad. That's the hardest thing to do is to put yourself first. And yet it is the most important thing that you need to be aware of, that you have to take care of you. I mean, it's nice to be a caring, loving person who wants to help other people, but there have to be limits on your time and you have to prioritize everything that you do. 5, suppressing your thoughts and feelings. We do not overcome our negative emotions such as fear, anxiety, sadness, or anger by ignoring or suppressing them, but by facing and processing them. When we ignore our thoughts and emotions, we risk having them build up only to explode or implode at an unexpected time, sometimes with unbearable intensity. Situations like this can lead to mental breakdowns, panic attacks, or emotional outbursts, to mention a few. These issues may be avoided if you talk to someone or found a way to not suppress those negative emotions. It can be so hard to simply ask for help, and most of us don't have the coping skills or knowledge of how to deal with those emotions. But you can learn and it can help you. 6, not exercising. Aside from the numerous physical benefits of exercising, it has a lot of psychological, emotional, and mental benefits. For instance, walking for just 12 minutes daily can lift your mood and help you cope with stress better. 7, lack of sunlight. Spending just 15 minutes daily under the sun can gently boost your mood because sunlight helps you synthesize vitamin D, which is believed to be a booster. Being out in the sunlight also helps optimize your circadian rhythms so that you can sleep better at night, all of which brings about a healthier mind. Even if you feel that you can't leave your house yet, sitting by a window or out on your deck or close to a sunshine can help. 8, poor sleeping habits. Anxiety, depression, stress, bipolar disorder, and some other mental health challenges both cause and are worsened by lack of adequate sleep. Due to this circular relationship between sleep and mental health challenges, it is important that a sleep schedule is drawn out and following re- religiously. Having an erratic sleeping pattern, especially when sleep time is reduced, often leads to dark places and negative emotions. 9, junk, drugs, and alcohol. Food, and substances are often viewed as coping mechanisms, but they can also worsen the situation at times. For instance, the challenges and chances of a person struggling with a mental health challenge harming themselves significantly rises once they start using substances. This may be because of how the substance negatively affects their mood, other coping skills, self esteem, and relationships. On the other hand, bringing on comfort zones may feel like a very effective means to relieve yourself and boost your mood. But just like alcohol, they can also leave you feeling depleted, ashamed, and guilty in the long run if you don't eat them in moderation. So, what can you do to improve your mental health? Well, one reason many people slip into these aforementioned habits is that they can be quite alluring. Avoiding social contact is distracting yourself from endless social media feeds can be easy. It is easy to avoid dealing with upset people, but just saying yes and mounting tasks upon yourself. But this can serve to help you run from the important task of processing your thoughts and feelings. This is what we're saying, that many a times you will take on other people's problems or tasks or things to do to avoid your own, and that's not good for you because all it does is manifest all the problems that are there and they are not going away. It is easy to avoid dealing with upset people, but just saying yes and mounting tasks upon yourself. But this can serve to help you run from the important task of processing your thoughts and feelings. Not exercising and staying indoors all day can seem like the easiest choice, but it is easy to stay up all night watching TV and having your nightly glass of wine and portions to comfort foods. But you must realize that the small things do add up. You must also remember that the assignment of taking care of your mental health is in your hands, and all you can do or don't do works for or against you. We recognize some of this is easier said than done. If it was so easy, I would have done it before. If you can do anything to help yourself feel better, just give it a try. No judgment at all. And remember, you have to be the one who takes care of yourself, and you have to be the one who puts yourself first. And I can tell you, having grown up in a very, very dysfunctional family, that I have a sister that became so dependent on my mother that today, right now, she's most likely in bed sleeping away the day, and then taking sleeping pills at night to sleep because she sleeps all day. And all of that is depression because she had no life outside of the relationship she had with my mother. And I can remember many a times when my mother was alive, and the first thing she would do when she would get up is say, "Where are we going today?" So when remember, you have to have a relationship with yourself first and love yourself first and do what you want to do and not let others dictate how to live your life, because the day will come when they're no longer there And if you don't know how to take control of your life and live the life you were meant to have, then along the way, something is going to happen and you're going to be left alone. And then it is going to affect you to the point that you will become depressed and not be able to get out of bed and just sit there and wait to die. So make sure that you take care of your own health and needs first because someone else is using you to take care of their own needs and they need to deal with their own issues. They cannot make you be dependent on them so that when the day comes that they're no longer there, you can really go on with your life and live a full and experience things fully in your life.